Hey guys, so it's been super hot, super dry here in mid-Michigan. First day of fall today. We actually had some rain, surprisingly. It's been over 3 weeks since we've had any rain. So a lot of you are probably struggling too. It depends on where you're at. Let me know in the comments where you guys are from, kind of what you're dealing with, what projects you're working on. I've done a lot over the last 2 weeks to lawn, especially the last week and a half. I'd say I did overseed and in some sections and put some seeding down, which was a disaster. I'll do a video on that later, but this weather has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. Summer-like conditions, even when the forecast, 10 to 14 day forecast said, hey, you know what? It looks like it's gonna be in the upper 70s with some rain spread out. Not the case. They lied to us again, right? So I had to do a lot of manual watering, and I've done a lot of aerating by hand. So it was very labor intensive over the last week, but I took breaks. I did a little bit here and there in between my work calls. So check this out. I'll get to another video on the state of the lawn, which is improving a lot. I did fertilize a week ago, did some light dethatching, but check this out. So you can see right away, this is the property line right here. I'm on the north side of the house. This side gets basically blasted with full sun all summer. So you're gonna get some drought. You're gonna get some of those dry spots. Of course, it's gonna happen. But I've noticed it's starting to get worse every year. And so I never aerated this whole lawn. I did a few sections here and there, but this is right up against the property line. Okay, so you're gonna notice that this tree is gonna compete, you know, and the brush right here is gonna compete with the roots of the lawn. And you can see, look at the slope. You can kind of see it's sloping downward to the right. From my vantage point, I'm looking west, and that's gonna play a huge role into it, right? So I wanna show you some of that. But why does this and other what signs to look for and what you can do to fix it? So you can kind of see some of the plugs here. It looks like dog crap. So what I did is I aerated like 100 square feet at a time, 200, something like that. And then I'd come out and water heavily that section. And we finally got rain today. But how does the sloping and the full sun affect it, right? The soil compaction. Well, just think about this. Think about gravity, right? The downward force, water runoff, erosion. So soil particles just get more compacted, especially if you have heavy equipment, you're running up and down it, or you have heavy foot traffic. It just gets compressed more when you're trying to battle that uphill climb or going downhill on that equipment. So it's just gonna exert more pressure, right? And I have another section of that up here as well. And I did so I wanna show you this section. I did the screwdriver test and noticed that, of course, these areas were the worst right here. Cool season lawn, I had perennial rye, fine fescues, I think mostly blended in here. But there's the slope, right? So it's kind of hard. But this whole section was just terrible. So I really took my time to aerate this whole front lawn, mainly focusing on these sections and then down this way as well. So got some success down there with overseeding. I'll do a different video on that. But this is kind of what it's looking like, right? So just think about that. So you have the gravity that's pulling everything down. It's going to make it harder to, you know, relieve that compaction, right? So what can you do, or what signs to look for? Let's talk about that, right? So I noticed, of course, it's going to look like drought, right? It's going to look real dry, and especially if you don't have irrigation. I'm on a well, I don't. So watering is difficult, and it's hard to keep up with this fine fescue. It just takes a beating, and the rye. So I want to overseed eventually with some, I don't know, some turf type tall fescue blends in here, which will help. But it's pretty thick overall. As far as what signs to look for, shallow exposed roots, you know, stunted or weak grass growth, puddling of water, thin patchy areas, heavy weed presence like crabgrass will thrive on this crap. Apparently it likes poor soil conditions, right? And then, of course, just discoloration. Just looking nutrient deficient as it is, right? So that's kind of what to look for. Take your screwdriver, see how compacted it is. Do that simple test, right? So what can you do to fix it? Well, first thing that I did, of course, because we've had drought, no rain, aerated. Core aeration is the best thing you can do by far. Spike aeration works as well. But you can level your lawn. Of course, I think I mentioned that as well. Sand soil mix to promote healthy drainage. It's going to make things a whole lot easier for so many different levels. But what you can do is just practice general mowing habits, right? Sharpen those blades enough. Avoid the 1/3 rule. Just maintain that. Don't cut it too short. Proper watering techniques. But you can also do a top dressing, which I've done in a couple areas that have had great success with. The composted manure from Ace Hardware. Stuff works awesome. That'll promote healthy, sustainable environment for those living organisms. And of course, those microbes feed off of that as well. So just promoting overall soil health and soil structure, drainage. It'll help loosen up the soil over time. So many benefits. It'll help thicken up the lawn, especially, you know, over time, right? Nothing is a simple, quick fix. But those are kind of the issues that I've been dealing with. I do have some weed presence over here too. Some thistle. And of course, this area is compacted. But it's been a tough summer. So I'm gonna do another video on the overall state of the lawn and just kind of what I'm looking at in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'll post that shortly. Please be sure to like and subscribe. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.